Hey guys, Bix Weir. Let's talk Deutsche Bank. Well, first of all, let's talk this morning's one of these was shadow banned by YouTube because I used the word socialism in the title. Crazy people, crazy. But let's talk Deutsche Bank. The Deutsche Bank Commerce Bank's talks have collapsed. Who could have predicted that? It was an attempt to hide some of the garbage derivatives that are on the books of both banks, mainly Deutsche Bank. And the complexity of the merger, of combining these derivative books, yes, a big chunk of them will be taken care of as counterparty risk and things like that, but another chunk is completely unmanageable. So the whole idea behind this game was to create enough derivatives to implode the system. That's exactly what has happened at Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, Citibank, HSBC. The derivative bubble is so big and so crazy that it absolutely cannot be fixed. And that's a good thing for humanity, because if you can't fix it, you gotta destroy it. Yes, everything will go with it. But hey, we need to get rid of these bad guys anyway. So it is a very good thing that the Commerce Bank Deutsche Bank merger did not happen. It might have, kicked the can down the road another 6 months. Where I am right now, I'm thinking September will be the chaotic. If you look at the chaotic months, it's always September. It's the end of the fiscal year of the U.S. And a lot of people, if you look at crashes, when did they happen? After the third quarter earnings and things like that. So October, November is when October is the main month of market crashes. But the reality of what's going on here is they are kicking the can, and it's just so much road they can kick it down, so to speak. And here, so what happens? What happens with the failure? Deutsche Bank goes back to a cold, dark place. At least Commerce Bank has the option of other deals. Its bigger German rival has no choice but to return to its enduring cost problems. It's not a cost problem, it's a derivative problem, which obviously leaks into costs. Remember, Deutsche Bank was the entity writing derivatives, basically acting like an insurance company, because you get paid all the money up front when you buy a derivative, and then there's the risk at the back end that no way it'll come true that the sovereign banks in Europe start to crash. Deutsche Bank decision to abandon an attempted takeover of Commerce Bank makes sense, but it still leaves both sides scrambling for alternative solutions to the same problem of pathetic returns. After weeks of deliberations, the German behemoth concluded the benefits would not have offset the additional execution risk, restructuring costs, and capital requirements, and derivative restructuring. The rationale is hardly a surprise. As we've argued from the outset, the costly and risky combination wouldn't have addressed the broader structural inefficiencies in German banking, while leaving the enlarged group still exposed to Deutsche Bank's trading activities and subpar profitability. After trading activities, you notice I said that first. After multiple attempts in a reboot in recent years, Deutsche Bank will probably need to do the next stage of restructuring on its own. For the smaller Commerce Bank, the option of a deal with another European lender may become more likely. Well, that means Commerce Bank's in trouble too. A few have already been knocking. The logic of the transaction was also its main obstacle. The fusion of two domestic firms offered the prospect of considerable savings, and the deal would have effectively created capital by crystallizing a Commerce Bank valuation at a considerable discount to its book value. What they wanted to do was get these two big German banks together so that there's no option at all than a bailout from the government when Deutsche Bank goes down. And then you see Deutsche Bank, or the share prices are, it's ridiculous. These things should be at zero. It's a negative, really, at Deutsche Bank. But while the promise to improve the merged company's earnings power 5 years hence, the operation might have killed the patient in the meantime. The challenge of integrating the two complex financial institutions would have been a huge test for the newish Deutsche chief, Christian Sewing. The combined balance sheet would have been almost 2 trillion euros, $2.3 trillion, that will have made its chief regulator, the European Central Bank, nervous. The hefty job involved, estimated as high as 30,000 added to the risk. Oh, job cuts. 30,000 job cuts. While Germany may have full employment and job losses in finance may attract less sympathy than other industries, the deal couldn't work without unions on board, and they were vigorously opposing both banks. Deutsche must now revert to its standalone strategy. It'll be a long slog. The bank has an enduring cost problem, cutting back its equities operation and its U.S. activities to create a business more focused on Europe. May be a start, but that will be expensive and might require yet more capital from investors. Give us more money. It's like, it's like any bank. We need more money to fix these problems. For Commerce Bank, the question is who's the best parent strategically and politically? I don't care about Commerce Bank. But any bank could go down who has a decent size derivative book to take the whole thing down, because those are direct losses to Deutsche Bank if Deutsche Bank was the underwriter on the other side of the derivative bet. Now look at Deutsche. Its shares are back to where they were in early February and have sharply underperformed the DAX and the Bloomberg 500 index. Even after a small bounce on Thursday, the stock trades at 25% of estimated book value. Deutsche is more likely to be issuing equity than getting a bid, so they're going to need more money. They are a criminal bank too. But here's the other thing. The criminality within Deutsche Bank, money laundering and all that had to go through the European Central Bank and the SWIFT system, so I don't know why anybody thinks it's a surprise. Here's an interesting one. Deutsche Bank has begun turning over documents to New York AG's Trump probe. So crazy Maxine Waters is getting her way, and Deutsche Bank is going to get dragged down reputationally with Trump. Truthfully, at the end of the day, Trump can pull the trigger and destroy these guys at any time. Deutsche Bank, Maxine Waters, Democrats. He's got all the dirt on everybody. But it's not just Trump. It's the people behind Trump. Trump is just the bull in the china shop outside. Said 1,000,000 times. The people behind Trump, the good guys, are taking out the bad guys. And they're not Republicans and they're not Democrats. They're Americans. Just keep that in mind when you think it's not a left versus right. Yeah, there's a lot of criminals on the left. Yeah, there's a lot of criminals on the right. And hopefully we've seen that all over the place lately. And Trump's not a Republican, and he's not a Democrat. He's an American. And he's working for people who absolutely had bleed red, white, and blue, shall we say. The good guys, as I call them. The big leader was Michael Mukasey, the Attorney General I think he was under Bush, Clinton. He's the guy who really got the good guys banded together to say, hey, let's kick these assholes out of our country. All Dick Allgire's friends in the deep state and all that. Let's kick them all out. We have the ability and the right to be a sovereign nation governed by our Constitution. I've said it for years. When the collapse happens, we're going to pull all our troops out of every country and protect our borders and protect our country. All Dick Allgire's guys, the Soros and the guys behind Soros and the deep underground Illuminati guys, they can go F themselves, if you ask me. We have a country. I don't care about, it's maritime law from 1803. Ridiculous. Laws are upheld by the people and the people with a gun. Come after us. If your guys in suits in the shadows want to beat up America, come after us. Come on. Bring it on. It's not going to come to that. Behind the scenes, this is the time of the transition. And it'd be wonderful if the United States of America stood up and said, hey, we're tired of the bullshit. We're tired of being having our personal liberties destroyed. So let's get rid of these criminals. And I think it will happen, absolutely. So, Dick, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're caught in that deep, dark rut. I know everybody was. I was for a long time, too. You'll get over it. One day you'll come on our side and say, okay, fine. He keeps saying, I have facts, and all you have is hope and dreams. No. I have the good guys on our side. I've got Alan Greenspan on my side. No, I don't know what he's doing these days. He's like late in his 90s. But he did create the electronic financial system. You must agree with that. He did rig the markets for 30, 40 years. You must agree with that. I've proven it 100 times. Dick, even in your remote viewing of who is Satoshi, who'd you come up with? Alan Greenspan. One of the people. So your deep dark guys didn't know that, I guarantee you. They don't know. They probably know about the gold in the Grand Canyon. But the question is who controls that gold, I think. Well, we have the Marines in there. Not any other part of the military other than the Marines are stationed within the Grand Canyon, protecting it. All right, keep going on Deutsche Bank. So yes, Deutsche Bank is having a problem with their silver derivatives at the moment. Deutsche Bank takes hit from metals deal. Last summer, Deutsche Bank trumpeted a deal to strengthen its finances in the zinc smelter Nystar. Less than a year later, the Belgian company is undergoing massive debt restructuring, 150 million financing structure by Deutsche Bank in line for losses of as much as 70%. That's not the real issue. The real issue is the hedging that was done on the back end. The derivatives, the silver derivatives that were done on the back end. Also zinc. Obviously, if you've been in metals long enough, silver is a byproduct of zinc mining. A huge amount of silver comes out of zinc mining as a byproduct. They call it byproduct because the silver price has been so manipulated for so long. It's not a huge factor on these huge zinc mines. But zinc and silver are found in the same deposits. So yeah, this is a huge issue, problem. And Deutsche Bank, more silver derivative problems cannot be good for their derivative book. So what happens to silver derivatives? Boom! Silver derivatives go through the roof on any given trading day. Look at these two trading days. I want to show you. This is like 150,000 contracts. Now pull out your calculator. 150,000. This is the HP12C. This is old school. Look how old that thing is. This is when I worked for GATX Corporation. I was a vice president back then. How exciting. But this thing's been beat up and put through hell. Probably 20 years old. All right. Moving on. $150,000 or contracts times there's 5,000 ounces per contract. 5,000 equals 750 million ounces of electronic derivative silver was traded on April 11th and on April 23rd, and just shy of that on April 24th. Are you kidding me? Only 800 to 900 million ounces are even mined in an entire year, much less in a single day. That's how much derivative power is needed right now. And look at the increases. I mean, that's gigantic. And it's complete fraud. Where's the CFTC? Position limits. I don't even think position limits matters because position limits is at the end of the day. It's the thousands of electronic derivative trades that go on high frequency trading every day that controls the price. How about if you buy silver, you have to take possession of your silver? How about a market like that? Wouldn't that be awesome? It's ridiculous right now. So yeah, basically every single day on the COMEX lately, not every single, 2 days on the COMEX, each day they traded almost the entire silver production for an entire year on planet Earth. What could possibly be wrong with that scenario? It is effed up. And Deutsche Bank is knee-deep in it. JP Morgan is knee-deep in it. Federal Reserve is knee-deep in it. The European Central Bank is knee-deep in it. The U.S. Treasury is knee-deep in it. Unless you control gold and silver, you have no fiat monetary system. And how do you control it? Computers and derivatives. Computers and derivatives. These are the derivatives. The computers are the high-frequency trades. Steve Mnuchin, the head of computer trading at Goldman Sachs, is now the Treasury Secretary. How does Steve Mnuchin work? He wakes up in the morning and goes, click. I'm going to put silver below $15. I'm going to type in, let's keep it there for 3 days. Click. Done. He can go home. I don't know why we pay him for a full day's work. That's all he has to do. Click. And then you have the Exchange Stabilization Fund, the New York Fed, everybody colluding. Boom, 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 boom. and you have total control of all prices. Welcome to the new world, the new high-tech world. And that's how Trump gets his beautiful recovery. Oh, the economy's so strong. I showed you this morning the pictures of people sleeping in the streets. It's a tough thing to deal with. I get it. But we wouldn't be in this situation if we had sound money and we had no more liars out there, like official government liars. And we need to sweep that away. All these derivatives need to go, and they will go. People will understand the destructive capability of derivatives, and they will not be allowed again for 100 years. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? If you want to buy an ounce of silver, you go out, you spend your money and buy an ounce of silver. How's it priced? Only in physical ounces traded. How is a Bitcoin price? Priced only in Bitcoin. True Bitcoin. On decentralized exchanges, true decentralized exchanges, as in blockchain, on the chain, maybe in the Lightning Network. But then you got high-frequency trades going back and forth, which is bullshit. It's tough. And that's just why the can keeps getting kicked down the road. The insanity of what is going to happen when this all falls apart, they knew it would be insane since 1909 when they discovered the gold in the Grand Canyon. That's why you keep kicking the can down the road. But this is what you get. You get a world like this where everything's a lie. And that's a problem. I am announcing officially that tomorrow we have another Crypto Happy Hour. Friday Crypto Happy Hour. I got some songs I'm going to play and we're going to talk cryptos. I want to do it live, but I just don't know if the Wi-Fi here can keep up with the music. So I'll try to do it live, and I've never done a live show. So I usually didn't want to do a live show because of I'd have to have so many people monitoring the comments because of all the trolls I have. I can turn the comments off, I guess. Anyway, tomorrow, try to do it live. Could be taped just before and then put up. But it is definitely tomorrow. I'm going to try to do it from the greenhouse. That's why there's going to be Wi-Fi issues. So it might not be live, but I'll try. And it's going to be fun. So check in. It will be posted around 3 o'clock. Either go live and I'll announce whether or not I go live. It'll be 3 o'clock posted or live. So if I'm behind tomorrow, I might have to go live, right? But the whole thing is it's all done right there. There's no editing. So I'll screw up all kinds of stuff. And here's the kind of stuff I'll be playing.
Here we go. Little crypto kitty, you're really looking pretty. I don't think you held me deep in the nitty-gritty. See, I really need a crypto to sound tried and true. You're just a fad, it's kind of sad. A hairball in the zoo. You see, I'm looking for a use case. Things go down the drain. Litecoin is a Bitcoin as a means of exchange. Litecoin is a Bitcoin as a means of exchange.
It'll buy a cup of coffee. The lightning is arranged. My bank is on my cell phone. Walking in your store. I scan the code, no time to load. I scan the Life app, no time to load. Yes, at some point, Life app will be just cryptos. And that's all you got to do. Anyway, it'll be fun, I promise. And I'll sneak in a couple covers probably. And because they don't monetize my music anyway. So I'll do all kinds of covers. Yeah, so that's tomorrow. Tune in, 3 o'clock, roadtoruta.com. Hit subscribe to this YouTube channel, even though YouTube will probably kick you off for no goddamn reason. And then hit like, thumbs up. It's Big Square, roadtoruta.com. I'll talk to you later.